Here's how I make t-shirts into halter neck tops. All you need is a flat surface, preferably a cutting mat or board, or a ruler if you don't have that, a t-shirt to chop, some shears or very good scissors, and some tailor's chalk. And here's one I made from an old t-shirt just as a little tester. So the plan is to chop the neck, and we also need a nice curve around the front and underneath the arms. And we're going to come around the back and do a straight edge. You can also chop to make it shorter if you wish. So to start off, I'm just cutting out the whole of the collar because I don't want that in my final design. You can keep that if you like, it's totally up to you. I just prefer the look without. Next, I'm measuring about an inch from the collar, and then I'm just going to cut round to underneath the arm. I'm using tailor's chalk to mark where I want to cut the fabric. And when it comes to cutting the fabric, make sure you only cut the front of the t-shirt and don't go through the back, because it's quite handy to keep as much of the scraps as you can just for other projects, or even for this project you might want to add a bit more to another area of the top. So what I'm doing now, I'm just marking an inch on the other side, but instead of marking the front, I'm going to go and chop round the back about an inch all the way round, just along the collar to create the neck hole. Personally, I prefer to chop the back first, and you'll see why in a moment, but I just find it an easier method. But you can go ahead and mark the front and chop the front first before you go round the back. It's totally up to you and what you find easiest. And also make sure you're only chopping the right layer of the t-shirt. And if you're happy with that, you can turn it over, and we're going to cut armhole to armhole all the way across the back. And I can't stress enough on this one, only cut the back layer or you're going straight through your design on the front, and that'll be a disaster. And if you've got a ruler, now's a good time to use it, but I'm just going for it using the grid on my cutting mat. And if you're happy with your line on the back, just turn it over, and we're going to cut the very last bit on the front. And we're going to do exactly the same as we did on the first part, but I'm using my first half and I'm folding it over and using it as a guide to help me to mark where I need to cut. And this is why I save it till last, because it's a lot easier to fold it over right at the end and make sure the t-shirt's perfect. And also what you'll need to do on the neck is you'll need to do some tacking stitches just to make sure it doesn't come undone. But you can also add more fabric here, or ribbons, or anything you can use to make a tie around the back of the neck too. So all that's left now is to try it on and make adjustments where you think you might need some adjustments, because each t-shirt is different and it's made differently. Make sure it hangs correctly, and if you're happy with it, then it's done. And if you give it a go, then let me know. I want to see your creations.